Um, Living in China for 6 years, absolutely safe. We came to a conclusion where I will be a stay at home dad, which is a house husband. So I take care of the house. In 6 years, we've seen so much of development in terms of infrastructure, in terms of making the people and foreigners also comfortable.
Welcome you to China.
All right, thank you. All right. Right, people, welcome back to another episode of Living in China. Today, I have a husband, I have a mentor, I have a big man right here on the channel to share his experience as a family man living in the city of Yantai. Sir, are you ready for this conversation?
Yeah, absolutely, crazy. Why not?
Okay, can you please tell us your name, where you're from, and what you do in China?
Cool. Hey guys, my name is Ayub Ali Khan. I'm from South Africa, and I am currently retired from work from South Africa, and I am a house husband.
A house husband.
Yeah, for sure.
So you mean you don't work in China?
I don't work in China because when we started this travel and teaching in China, which my wife does, according to her visa, I was advised that I will not be able to work in China, and also I was diagnosed with a condition back home that's called macular degeneration, which is to do with my eyes, and that was one of the main reasons as to why we pursued coming to China and trying to look for employment. And yeah, so 6 years later, this is where we are in China, and it's pretty good so far.
6 years in China.
Yeah, absolutely.
How is the image, or how was the image of China in South Africa before your family moved here?
Well, watching TV and movies and experiencing the actual thing and the people and the culture was quite daunting, quite shocking. And we had to get used to the idea and to the people and to the language and to the culture. And eventually, yes, compared to South Africa is pretty difficult in terms of living because of the financial implications. And you got to have a good job. You have to have a good education. And yeah, so and there's so much back home that we are unable to do, and here in China it's totally different to South Africa.
So you mean living in China is totally different from South Africa?
Oh yeah, living in China is so much convenient, so much easier. In terms of where we live in China, it's called Shandong province, and we live in a city that's called Yantai. And Yantai was a developing city. It was a fishing city and wasn't developed. And in 6 years, we've seen so much of development in terms of infrastructure, in terms of making the people and foreigners also comfortable. And yeah, and in terms of earning and working in China, it's pretty convenient. So yes, it's totally different to living in South Africa.
How has living in China affected your family?
Well, that's actually a very, very good question. When we left 6 years ago, we had to sell up our house and our car, and the biggest thing for us was leaving our mom and dad, our families, and especially our son, who is now 22, was 16 at the time, was in grade 12, and that was fundamental to us here.
Okay, you have a family here, and I just realized you have a beautiful daughter.
Thank you.
Right here in China.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was she born here in China?
No, Zia Talia was born in South Africa. She was 7 when she traveled with us to China. Now she's 13. She's
Wow.
in grade. She's in grade 8 now, and she speaks and understands the Chinese language fluently. She can read it, she can write it, and she's in a pretty higher grade when it comes to Chinese. And I've also got my wife, who is a teacher at an international school, and she is a geography teacher, and she's been teaching at the school for 6 years now.
How was it like moving your family to China and raising your daughter here? Was it difficult to raise a black girl in China?
Well, yes, it was, because, like I just said in the video, she was 7, and she was still a baby, obviously, and she didn't know what was going on and what we were actually doing and why we were doing this. And yeah, she cried for quite some time, and eventually, as we got to know the country, the people, the culture, it started to become a little easier for her, and she's very, very strong now. Absolutely, she can hold her own, she can speak her own, doing well in school. Yeah, so it was an experience. Yeah.
What does that mean?
I like China.
Rima, can you read that in Chinese?
我喜欢中国.
Wow, it's amazing. So how does it feel to learn Chinese?
I think it's good experience.
It's a good experience. Was it very difficult for you when you moved to China as a kid?
At first, I couldn't speak Chinese, so I didn't have that much friends. And then now I speak Chinese fluently, so I can speak to my friends easily.
So how do Chinese people react to you when you go out?
Sometimes they get very shocked that I speak Chinese, and they are very happy that I can communicate with them.
Do you feel very happy to be in China?
Yes.
Do you miss South Africa?
Yes.
What do you miss about South Africa?
The food.
What are some of the things that you did to help you learn Chinese?
So in school, my teachers would make me write the characters and the pinyin, and then I would get homework like translate the words to Chinese and then understand them, and then we would have a test like each week, so I could remember the words easily.
What has been the happiest moment in your life in China?
Meeting all my friends and all the memories we had together, like going out together to malls and taking a lot of pictures together.
What's your favorite Chinese city so far?
Shanghai.
Why Shanghai?
It reminds me of like foreign countries.
Oh,
The tall buildings.
the tall buildings, right?
Maybe my favorite is Ni hao.
How does it feel to have a daughter who has been in China for over 6 years and has gone through the education system in China and now can read and write fluently in Chinese? How does it feel?
Well, my wife and I, we are very, very proud of her, because she's come a long way from the age of 7, and she's taken in her strides, and yeah, and she's become a very, very strong, independent teenager, because she's going on 13 years old now. So pretty, very, very proud of that. Yeah.
So as a dad, as a man, as a husband, what are some of the things that you did or you put in place to make sure your family, your wife and your daughter is safe in China?
Well, another good question. When my wife Naz and I decided to do this, we obviously had to speak about it in length, obviously with our moms and dads, and we came to a conclusion where I will be a stay-at-home dad, which is a house husband. So I take care of the house, and my wife Naz works and support our family here and in South Africa as well. So there's 2 families. And in terms of safety, we had to make sure that everything is done at home for my wife and my daughter, in terms of food, in terms of the house being safe, clean. I've learned how to cook I've never learned that in South Africa, so I know how to cook, and they enjoy the food. I'm gonna make sure that their lunches are done in time. I'm gonna make sure that they have everything prepared for school, and yeah, I'm gonna make sure the uniforms are done and clean, ironed, pressed, and kept in readiness. Yeah.
Wow, amazing.
Thank you.
As a black man, do you have any safety concern? Do you feel very safe in China?
Yes. Okay. Living in China for 6 years, absolutely. We have never ever come across crime. We've never seen crime. We've never heard of crime. Police patrols are prominent. It's on the hour. You see police cars, you see police personnel on the streets. And in terms of safety, you can leave your house open. You can leave your cars open. You can leave your wallets. You can leave anything of value that you have anywhere, inside or outside your apartment area. It will be there no matter how long you are away from your personal position. I've had a few experiences whereby I visited a mall to buy groceries, and I had some change, coins fall off my bag, and when I returned to the locker, I had Chinese people come to me, and I was kind of wondering what you're talking about, and eventually they told me, oh, this is your money, fell out of your bag, and you can take it. So the point I'm trying to make here is that the money was found, it was kept, and every single coin was returned to me. So in terms of safety, 100%.
100%.
Yeah, absolutely. Back home, yeah, it's very difficult. Lot of crime in South Africa, and you got to be constantly looking over your shoulder, and sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad.
Do you in any way feel privileged to have your family here in China, though your son is back in South Africa? Do you guys feel kind of privileged to work and live in China?
Well, absolutely, yes. We were actually thankful that we were given this opportunity to visit a country, especially overseas, living in the continent of Africa, which is pretty difficult, not just as South Africans, but the entire continent of Africa. It's kind of very, very difficult to travel out overseas for holidays or for jobs, but when we were given this opportunity, we grabbed it and we took it, and yeah, it's very, very lucrative.
It's very lucrative to work in
Yeah,
China.
absolutely. In terms of finances, you got to be a professional person first of all. And if you're a professional, you're educated, and you have the correct degrees, then earning foreign money is very, very lucrative, very, very good.
Do you advise foreigners to visit and come to China to work?
Absolutely. You know, if we were always given the opportunity as African people to visit all over the world with no stipulations in terms of legalities, that will be very, very good. I encourage the youth of now throughout the world, not just Africa. Education, fundamental. Get your degrees and travel out of your comfort zone, because there is a world waiting out there to greet you and to take you under the wings and show you what it is like to live away from home.
If you have to speak for yourself and your family, what has been the most shocking experience so far?
Well, I won't say that we experienced anything shocking. The culture, yes, we don't know the culture. We're still learning the culture, and we still learning the language. We were told that we must beware of there's a habit that they have here in China, which is cleaning their throats, and they do it in terms of, I'm talking about spitting. They clean their throats and they spit anywhere on the streets, in restaurants. So that was a bit of a culture shock for us, and it wasn't that it was annoying from time to time, but yeah, we kind of got used to the idea. But the thing is, not kind of shocking for us. It's the food that they consume and the food that they eat. It's not to our liking because of our religion, and because we only eat halal food. So the meat and chicken has to be halal. And thank God that the school introduced us to a mall, which is called Metro, where we get our halal products from. Yeah. So in terms of shocking, not so much.
Not so much.
Yeah.
Be the most memorable moment so far living in China for 6 years for you.
Memorable, yeah, getting an opportunity for my wife and my daughter to be accepted in an international school. Traveling, which was very, very good for us as well, because we never had that opportunity. So yeah, and also getting to know the culture in China, getting to know the people and the convenience in China, which was very, very good as well. Yeah.
What's the future for you and your family? Do you still intend to stay in China for long years, or do you have plans of moving back home?
Well, we all understand around the world that we are in a pandemic phase at the moment, so travel is very, very difficult. So yeah, we would like to stay abroad for a longer period of time, and hopefully bring our son here and let him get used to the idea of teaching as well, because he's qualifying as a teacher. So hopefully, yeah.
Okay, before I let you go,
Yeah.
I want you to describe your overall experience in China.
Well, to put it like maybe in one word, I'd say pretty awesome, and wouldn't want to change it. Yeah. So I encourage a lot of people to, when you get that opportunity after the pandemic is dealt with, to travel. Yeah. There's a world out there waiting for us.
Okay, what is your message to other foreigners watching you?
Well, to my fellow foreigners, please just stay strong. Let's band together and let's help each other whenever we're in a crisis. And yeah, so that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for talking to us.
It's always a pleasure, Kwesi. Thank you for giving us this opportunity.
I hope this story will help people and also shape the mind of people outside China.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm actually glad that we met and you're doing this, and you kind of sending out a message there to the world and to our families that we're safe, and we trying to prosper, and we're trying to help our families back home as well. And yeah, just go for it and get educated.
Thank you so much, sir.
It's always a pleasure.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much. Bye.
Great meeting you.
Thank you so
Cheers.
much.
Thank you.
I like China.
Rima, can you read that in Chinese?
我喜欢中国。
Wow.